Beautiful, and welcome back to another episode of Paddle Forward Podcast Navigating Life's Currents. I'm your host, Anna Connie Walters, and today's episode is one that I've been super excited to share. I've been trying to just get myself together. I've been working on so many things, trying to really strategize 2025. And if you've ever felt like your goals or your dreams are just kind of out of reach, you continue to make those New Year's resolutions and nothing is really happening, then this episode is really for you. So we're diving into the magic of vision boards, the power of quantum leaping, and how these tools have really helped me achieve so much on my own personal journey. So grab your cup of tea, settle into wherever you are, grab that imaginary paddle, and let's get started. So I wanted to just start with my journey in kind of this whole vision boards situation. And traditionally, I've done what everybody else has done. I've created those, uh, you know, resolution list of things. And when I was in my 20s, I did a little bit different where I would actually create a list. And sometimes it could be like 10, some years it would be like 20. And essentially what I would do is whatever I didn't finish from that year, I would essentially just cross it over to the next year and then keep going so that there was just this not negative energy for myself if I didn't complete all of them to do. Like I would give myself grace. Sorry, I'm drinking water. So if you're listening and you haven't drank any water, that's your cue to hydrate because I'm a mermaid. So I need water. And so do you. Even if you don't think you're a mermaid, you still need water. And so that's kind of where it started. And then about 2 or 3 years ago, I decided to kind of give up on the list altogether and just come up with one word. And this one word would essentially really guide how I wanted the year to kind of be focused and strategized amongst. So this year for 2025, I've decided that I wanted to go with empower. And that's really because I'm focusing on community and I'm focusing on my new brand, which is Empower Her Wave Agency, where I'm really trying to now take all the stuff that I've learned and really share it, share my brownies, as Leonie Dawson, one of my coaches, would say, with the world and empower those who are feeling like they're falling behind. And so it's been super powerful. It really just kind of helped for me to just solidify and focus so that I wasn't focusing on like this huge list and it just wasn't feeling basically like anything was really getting done or it was helping and helping me. Like I was creating like magic and I was accomplishing some of the goals, but it just still wasn't feeling like it was in alignment. So I've always had big dreams. I was starting to feel stuck, and I really was having problems with just clarity on how to get towards these goals. And so that's when I created my vision board, but a visual digital board. And I came across the concept of the visual vision board essentially through a few people. And so, really, by using the visual digital vision board and tied that into the power of quantum leaping, which is something I started to do last year, it really just magnified the ability to really get what I was looking like, what I wanted, what I was asking for, what I wanted to accomplish. It was actually starting to happen. And it was kind of like freaky because it was like exactly what I put on that board was like what I was getting. And so if you're wondering, what I mean by quantum leaping, it's essentially the idea of shifting your mindset and energy to align with a version of yourself who already has what you desire in like another realm. And I know it's like super out there. If you are like an Avenger fan, you kind of understand what quantum leaping is. It's essentially what the doctor dude, uh, doctor, what's his name? Uh, I don't remember, but you guys know who, if you know the movie, you guys know who I'm talking about. And he sits there and he goes through like all the different multiverses to figure out, and he only found one multiverse where the right decision was made that made the impact and saved everybody. And that's essentially what it is. And it's a little out there. I was like, I don't know about this, but we'll go more into that in a minute. And so I really started to see this shift. I really started to see the things that I was like wanting and desiring actually like coming into reality. And it sounded so crazy, but it's so powerful. And trust me, it really is like it does work. And the breakthrough really came for me when I realized that our minds really think in pictures, not words. And so when I started to actually visually attach images to my desires, my what I was trying to manifest, whether it was in my personal life or my business, I started to notice the shift immediately. My goals felt real, they felt tangible, they felt achievable. And well, ultimately, when I was looking back at my vision board, I got so many of the stuff that I had on there. And so the original inspiration to the digital vision board, digital visual vision board, say that like 5 times, was through the inspiration of Terri Savelle Foy. And she really was introduced to me by a friend. I was starting to go back to church and I wanted to introduce my son to church. He was baptized Catholic, and I felt like it was time to kind of start bringing him to church and letting him just be exposed to that so that he can have that kind of as a core, um, in his upbringing. And I really loved the way she related like current day stuff to the Bible to kind of help me revisit a lot of that so that if Garfield had any questions, I would know how to answer. And she's often actually referred to as the cheerleader of dreams. And she has a Vision Board 101 course, which really changed the way I viewed goal setting and visualizing those goals. And one of the most powerful lessons she shared was actually rooted in the biblical like principle, like the Bible, where it says, write the vision and make it plain, which she says a lot if you watch her YouTube channels. And it was her emphasizing that creating a vision board was essentially the modernization of this principle that by making our goals plain and visual, we give ourselves a clear direction. And she also encouraged us to basically include not just material goals, but things like personal growth, relationships, and then, of course, faith. And really, what stuck with me was her advice about dreaming boldly because no dream is too big when it's aligned with your purpose. And, ask and you shall receive. And she's like, the worst thing you want to do is when you die, go up to heaven and be like, have God show you this massive, beautiful plan for your life and be like, I didn't get into that stuff. And he's like, because you didn't ask. So I was like, you know what? They'll like, what's the worst that can happen is that I don't get it. Well, I don't have it already. So, like, what's the harm done? And she's really just the cutest person ever with such really, like, again, practical, realistic teachings. And it really inspired me to dream bigger than ever before. And then I really started incorporating her techniques because, the first time I heard it was with Terry, and then I actually have heard it several times as I really started investing into other coaches in that millionaires and billionaires. I think it's like millionaires look at their goals like once a day or twice a day, and like billionaires look at it like 3 times a day. And so it's not just about writing your New Year's resolutions and your manifestations for the year and all your goals and whatever, but it's actually like looking at them every day. And so The reason that I started to create the digital vision board was because I needed something that I could carry with me. And, we live in a age of technology, and I didn't really want to like go through the process of doing what I used to do, which is, cutting up pieces of paper and magazines and stuff. I'm trying to be more like conscious of like the environment and stuff. And I've actually created a really amazing vision board that was more or less of just like my core values and who I wanted to be as a person. And in this vision board, because you can't see it, it just says things like resisting the obvious, expecting change, the easiest fire you'll ever light, hashtag be yourself, beast intentions, happiness is not a destination, it's a journey, eyes wide open, love the transformation, wild at heart, mermaids are real, live in your skin. Finding perfection can also mean losing perspective. It's a long journey to become the one. Power couple, focus the viewer on the detail and form the landscape elements, stormy scenes. And so it just has a lot of visual things. And so I'm actually doing a YouTube video on creating your own version of my digital vision board. And so I'm going to actually showcase it there. So if you're interested, you can check the YouTube channel for that video. But really, it was the science behind the vision board that actually came from my other coach, Jim Kwik, who's my brain coach. And, in his Limitless book, I bought like the course, the coaching program that came with it. And, his expertise is in memory and learning if you don't know who Jim Kwik is. And so he redid a updated version of his book called Limitless, and he really starts to dive into the neuroscience behind why vision boards are really effective. And he explains that our brains really don't distinguish between reality and vividly imagined scenarios. And he does like these exercises that are really like kind of freaky to prove his point. And it really means that you consistently visualize yourself achieving a goal. So your brain starts to believe it has already happened, and this phenomenon is essentially tied to the activation of your reticular activating system, which is short known for RAS, which is like a filter of what's important in your environment. And so once you visualize your goal, your RAS kicks in and helps you notice opportunities, resources, connections that align with your vision. Long story short, like the best way to explain it is that once your brain sees it, it thinks that that's already like your future, and so it kicks into like gear of like, okay, so what do we got to do to make this happen? And so he also stresses the importance of tying strong emotions to your visualizations because emotions create deeper like neural connections, which make the vision feel even more real and achievable. And so just again, that's where the quantum leaping comes into, because it's not just about seeing the picture on the board, it's about feeling the joy and the gratitude and the excitement of having already achieved it, which Terri Savelle goes into it. And like when she talks about her visions and her, because she creates one every year too, it's like she speaks it into existence. Like she acts like it already happens. And she's like, I called my friend one day and I was like, girl, like, I forgot what I said. Some like was like crazy, crazy dream, like goal. And she's like, no, like I was like, girl, and I was like all excited. And I for real was like celebrating. I was like, I can't believe it. And then she's like, no way. I was like, yes way. And I let her like kind of carry on for a little bit. And I was like, and she goes, oh my gosh, are you serious? And I was like, in Jesus' name, amen. And she's like, girl, you had me. I really thought that that happened. And I was like, well, it is going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet. And so I bought into Mind Valley, and it's an amazing, amazing thing. It has like so many personal development, career development, yoga. Like man, yes, last year has been such an expansive year for growth. But I learned about quantum leaping with Bert Goldman, who's like the original creator of quantum leaping. And to really understand quantum leaping, um, he explains it pretty well. He's considered like this American monk. I didn't know who he was, but the concept of quantum leaping revolves around the idea that there's alternate versions of yourself that exist in parallel realities. Okay, I'm gonna start like going off, so you're like, what? Try to keep up. By tapping into these alternative versions, you can access their skills, their mindset, their success. And the way it works is that he guides you through this visualization and meditation, and you start to imagine yourself stepping into the shoes of the you who has already achieved whatever success, goals, or like physical skills that you're looking to gain. And so the process isn't just about wishful thinking, it's about aligning your current energy and your actions with that successful version of yourself that already exists in in another reality. And he emphasizes that by doing this, you're not only shifting your mindset, but you're also creating that tangible pathway to really manifest those dreams into your reality. It's a little out there, but combining his quantum leaping techniques with the visual impact of the vision boards has been game changing. And it was really like giving my brain this blueprint for success, and one that deeply rooted in belief and action. And let me tell you, it is pretty freaky. When I went back to look at my actual vision boards, I was like, OMG. OM weed. I totally did that. I did that. Oh my gosh, that happened. Like, there's a lot of stuff that clearly did not happen. Like, I had a whole travel one, but again, I wasn't as consistent as actually looking, and I only actually achieved the ones that I was consistently, like, actually glancing at. The ones that didn't really come to fruition were the ones that I had actually at the back of my planner. And I created it so that I could insert this into my daily planner. So every time I looked at it, it was this two-sided, and it was the first thing that I would see when I opened up my planner. So that part worked. It's just that I had 4 of them, 4 pages for 4 different aspects of my life that I wanted to, like, manifest into, and so the other 2 pages I hardly ever looked at, and so I think that's kind of what played a role in that part. So just really quick, how to create your own vision board. A lot of people, I think, make it too complicated, and there's really just some key tips that I just want to give you to make it more effective and a little bit more easier. So you need to really start with clarity. You need to think about the areas of life that you want to focus on: your career, your relationship, your health, your personal growth, and you need to write specific goals for each of them. You can't be very vague, because otherwise, the more specific you can be, the better it will be for you to actually achieve them. And then you want to find like inspiring images. So you want to choose images that really evoke the strong positive emotion that Jim Kwik was talking about. So ideally, they should be like real photos of like a realistic version of it. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I like Photoshop myself in some of my photos. Like, I want to climb Mount Fuji with my son and my husband, and so I have a picture of Mount Fuji, and me and my husband and my son are on like the top, like smiling and cheesing. And so it really does make it, it needs to really align with the actual goal that you're trying to do. So if you're using one, it needs to be kind of something that it relates to. It has to be pretty specific to what you want. So if it's something that, like, so Terri Savelle wanted to write one of like the bestseller books, and so she went to Barnes and Nobles and took like a picture of herself in like the bestseller. Like, I guess they have a stand. I don't know. I haven't been to a Barnes and Nobles in like forever. And so she took a picture of herself, like, with like pretending that she was on that shelf. And like, it happened. And that's the thing, is like sometimes it doesn't happen as quick as we want, but it does happen. It's just some things will take time. So you can't give up, on them. And she has books in different languages and French. It's crazy, like her dreams. You guys should really like look her up. I'm gonna link her YouTube videos to the description of the podcast. And so you really need to then organize your intention and arrange your board in a way that's visually appealing and meaningful to you. It needs to be fun. Don't worry about too much about the aesthetics. It's about really creating something that you want to look at every day. Because remember, that was the key is by looking at it, your brain's getting trained like, yep, we are making this happen. And it's really pushing you. It's helping guide you in making the decisions, making you think about it all the time. You're dreaming about it, and it's like, oh my gosh. And so you really start to like make decisions uneven, maybe on an unconscious level to like make it happen. And it's just it's like, man, I geeked out about it. But spending time each day looking at your vision board, visualize yourself living the life it represents, feel the emotions, again, pretend with your BFFs, when you see something that reminds you of the goal, and just say it out loud, like, man, I'm so happy that I made 7 figures this year. And they're like, holy shit, you did? But like, not yet, but I will. Like, for me, I was like, in Jesus' name, amen. And they're like, man, I was just like, well, you say what you want to say. I'm just getting ready. I'm practicing because it's happening. And that just helps you feel like I got goosebumps just saying that out loud. And then remember that the universe works in mysterious ways, and stay open to the unexpected opportunities and trust that everything is aligning in your favor. And that just is more like mindset. You got to fake it till you make it is basically like the best way to show you how to do that. Try to write dates if it's something that's tangible, but again, like the same concept of SMART goal, it needs to be on a timeline that's realistic. Like you can't be like, I want to become a 7 figure business owner tomorrow. Like that shit probably is not going to work. For some people it might, but if you're that type of person and you already have like something like, yep, if I do this one thing or whatever, it is a true possibility. Well, then go for it. But if that's not something that realistically could happen for you, like tomorrow, then maybe put it for like 6 months from now, 3 months from now, a year from now. Know that you're going to have to hustle. Like that's the whole point of manifestation. It does not just like you put this picture board together, write this list down, look at it every day, and poof, like life's just going to give it to you. Like there are actions that you need to actually take to make it happen. But that's the whole point is all of this creates you to be in a mindset where your mind is going to force you to make the actions happen. But it does require effort. Like it's not just some magical fairy dust that, just happens. No, like you still got to put your own grit in. So I do want to just let you know that if you're feeling inspired, but you're really not sure where to start, I've got you covered. I am actually going to be recording a YouTube video that hopefully will release the same week that this is being aired. And it's going to be where I really walk you through creating your own vision board on Canva step by step. And to make it even easier, I've designed a free Canva guide and template that you can download and create for yourself. It's perfect for creating a beautiful personalized vision board. Whether you're a beginner or seasoned pro, you can grab it through my YouTube show notes. So if you want to check that out, I'll make sure I leave the link for my YouTube channel in the show notes. And again, it's Canva. It's a really nice, so I use Happy Planner. I just love the classic planner, the smaller one, not the really big 8.5 by 11. Like there's a smaller mid-sized version. And so the template that I would be giving you fits perfectly into it. And I'll be showing you my actual planner so you can see how I'm like all the stuff. Like how do I create it? I'll show you, I'll give you the template and everything. I'll walk you through step by step. And then I'll actually show you like where I put it in my own so that you can see like, well, that's great, but like, how do I put this into practice? And so that's pretty much it, y'all. I just want to wrap up and leave you with this. Your dreams are valid and they're absolutely achievable. So, creating a vision board is such a powerful way to really take ownership of your goals and bring them to life. I am giving you permission to dream and dream big because, again, you don't want to go up and see God and be like, look at this beautiful life you could have had. But, like, wait a minute. I didn't get none of that. But like, well, you didn't ask for any of it. So dream big, dream big. If you're religious, Terry Savelle says it in such a great way. She's like, God's looking for opportunities to have you help him show his godliness, like to show his full power by making like this miraculous like gesture for you. And so combine it with the mindset shift, you know, that I'm constantly talking to y'all about, that it is possible and you fake it till you make it. Look into quantum leaping if you're kind of into that, and you're going to be amazed at what's truly possible. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. I want to hear your thoughts. Share your own vision board stories. Tag me on social if you end up watching the YouTube channel and downloading my free gift for you on starting this journey for yourself, especially at the end of the year, and sharing like what actually came out. I will be sharing my personal wins from 2024. And again, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss the next episode. But truly, it's because it actually helps me reach more people. And again, this year for me is about empowering, and it will help me achieve that goal of making empower truly my word of 2025 by you sharing, liking, following the podcast so that it can get pushed out to more people. Thank you so much, beautiful, for joining me today. Until next time, keep paddling forward.